Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Motivation for Regular People. Today, I want to give you 4 essential components of motivation that you must understand if you're ever going to be able to harness the power of motivation to its full potential. If you've ever said the phrase, "I'm just not that motivated," this video is for you. You're about to see how much control you actually have over your motivation. Motivation is one of the most powerful and misunderstood forces in the entire world. It's powerful because every action requires motivation. Think about that for just a moment. Every invention, every decision, every contribution throughout the entire scope of human history all started because someone felt motivation. At the same time, I would argue that motivation is misunderstood and underutilized by almost every person in the world. Most people don't understand how much control they actually have over their motivation. They don't know that if they could learn how to harness and direct their motivation toward their most important goals, they would become unstoppable. This lack of awareness of their motivation causes them to miss out on tons of opportunity and limitless potential. So in this video, I want to help you begin to take hold of that potential by telling you 4 essential principles about how motivation actually works. Principle number 1, motivation is not the same as discipline or willpower. Although we all possess the same amount of motivation, discipline and willpower vary from person to person. At the same time, that doesn't mean that you don't control your discipline or your willpower. You can use motivation to develop discipline and strengthen your willpower. You can also create situations where willpower is not necessary because of how you've primed your environment and set yourself up for success. Remember that willpower is a lot like a muscle. It gets tired the more often you use it. That's why it's so important to lock in good decisions ahead of time. If you want to learn more about how to do that, I made another video that you can watch here. Principle number 2 is that your unconscious mind impacts your motivation in a major way. I'm definitely not a scientist, but I love thinking about the neurology behind our motivation. One of the most important things about the science of motivation that you need to know is that your brain will prioritize certain activities based on how much dopamine they produce. Dopamine is the pleasure chemical in your brain, and your brain releases dopamine whenever it is anticipating some kind of reward. Understanding how dopamine works in your brain and impacts your motivation will help you be more intentional about the decisions that you make. Principle number 3 is that intrinsic motivation is more powerful than external motivation. Most people are familiar with the 2 types of motivation, internal and external. And while external motivators are easier to perceive, internal motivators are often more powerful and easier to sustain over time. Most people think that what they want most is money or power or success, but the problem is these are all external motivators. What people actually crave is comfort or respect or a sense of purpose and meaning. This means that wealth, status, and prestige aren't ends in themselves. They are simply a vehicle that helps us get to where we actually want to go. Before I tell you about the last principle, remember to subscribe to this channel if you find this content helpful. We also have a podcast called Motivation for Regular People that we release once a week. You can find our show on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. The last principle about motivation is that every decision includes both a cost and a reward. Imagine you're trying to decide if you're going to wake up early to exercise. One option is to get up when your alarm goes off and go for a run or hit the gym. The potential cost is that you won't get to sleep as much and you may feel tired or uncomfortable during your workout. At the same time, the potential reward is that you'll release endorphins, you'll take a step toward getting in better shape, and you'll feel like a disciplined person. The other option is to hit snooze and stay in bed. Here, the potential reward is that you maintain the comfort of staying in bed and you get to sleep for a little longer. But there's also a cost, which is you don't have an opportunity to release endorphins, you don't take a step toward getting in better shape, and you feel like you failed on your goal. Notice how taking a moment to analyze the potential cost and reward for both options helps you make a more informed decision. Also, did you catch that choosing to stay in bed offers a more instantaneous reward, while deciding to get up and work out offers a reward that is further in the future? If you've ever wondered why it's so hard for so many people to find motivation, this is why. Like I told you earlier, your brain is designed to prioritize activities that offer a more instantaneous release of dopamine. If you're not used to exercising or getting up early, your brain is trying to protect you from future uncertainty by telling you it's more comfortable to stay where you are. One way that you can overcome this state of mental lockdown is to focus on the long-term goal or reward that you are hoping to experience. While it may not take away all of the short-term pain, it will give you an extra degree of perseverance or grit to move forward. So let's review the 4 principles. Principle 1, motivation is not the same as discipline or willpower. 2, your unconscious mind impacts your motivation in a major way. 3, internal motivation is far more powerful than external motivation. And 4, every action includes both a cost and a reward. For more about how motivation works, check out this video I made on 3 essential truths about motivation.